The following podcast contains spoilers and profanity. Hello, and welcome to episode 14 of the Half and Half podcast. I'm your host, Glenn Walker, and with me as always is MarsReviews.
Welcome to the Thor 2 podcast. We're going to talk about Thor: The Dark World and how much I love that movie.
It's the best one.
It's my favorite Marvel movie. It's my cool. Remember that one chick from Two Broke Girls? She was in it.
No one remembers that. Actually,
everyone really just like, oh man, she looks really cool. She has like a little gap tooth. Cool. I don't know. I hate that character. This is fucking. We're skipping this. I hate that character. It reminds me of my cousin, just visually. I want to punch it.
It's a very personal hate, Mars. For this,
I don't hate my cousin, but like, goddamn,
she looks like your cousin. I hate her.
I hate her because she looks like my cousin, and I hate my cousin because she looks like my mom.
Oh,
stop.
Okay, so today we're talking about just in general, we're just going to talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe in tune for Infinity War, which at the time of this recording will be coming out on Friday, 2 days from now. It will
disappoint all of us, and then we'll stop watching Marvel movies forever, and we'll move on to the next trend.
That will not happen.
It will happen.
It probably
at one point.
It'll come to a point where it's gonna die, like fatigue. But like even the people who are working on this, they say like, yeah, we kind of have an end game eventually. We gotta like do that because we can't go on forever because the actors are getting older, the contracts are gonna like run out, and people just don't want to do it anymore.
It's gonna be 2020, and every Marvel movie will be obsolete. They'll make like $10 million each just to watch.
It'll be James Cameron who thinks that all 20 of his Avatar sequels will blow Avengers out of the water.
James Cameron is I don't know what the fuck is up with that guy. Like he knows how to make money. He knows how to make good 80s movies. Like holy shit, is he like stupid?
Yeah.
James Cameron. I want to see those Avatar sequels, even though Avatar is really a shitty movie.
It's really a bad movie.
It really is. Like,
yeah, like Avatar is a bad movie, but not on an IMAX screen in 3D. That's it.
Yeah, an IMAX screen with 3D. It's just like
it's pretty cool. Not on a fucking small screen, like an iPhone or some shit like that.
It's like Avatar is like Burger King. It's like you go there and it's like, wow, this is okay. And then like you go back and you think about it once you're like rich and cool. You go like, wow, Burger King, this is below me. And then you go to an actual restaurant, an actual good movie, and you go like, wow, Avatar, why can't you be this? You just look cool. You're not good.
I feel like if you the Burger King the Burger King argument, just like when you see Avatar for the first time, you saw it on the big screen in IMAX 3D. Okay, that was when Burger King gave you like the good like chicken fries, like the premiere. They came fresh out of the oven, and then you watch them like a smartphone or something, and then you get cold nuggets.
Avatar is like fucking when you first saw it, they were Burger King nuggets that had like the little crowns on it, and their fries weren't like these fat, disgusting shits.
I like the Burger King fries.
I don't mind them now because I have they're the only place that is open, and the only fast food place. Like I have two options. I can go to Burger King, or I can go to Subway. I'm going to Subway because I don't want to die. But when I go to Burger King, I hate them. They don't ever get anything right, and their food is getting worse and worse. I hate that they use like liquid smoke on all their burgers. It's not real.
It's not real.
And they just put burgers in microwaves. I saw it.
I've seen it with my own eyes. Oh my god! All right.
I want to know other company secrets. When you go to Pizza Hut, you can go get the apple pies and the French fries. Yes, they exist. You just gotta ask. They fucking cook the apple pies in the same oil of the chicken, so you're getting fucking chicken.
That sounds horrible.
It doesn't taste. I ate them. Someone gave them to me, and I was like, they're actually really good. They're actually really tasty. But after knowing that, it's just like I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to eat that. Like, yeah, they probably taste good, but I don't want that.
I don't know why.
I don't want to know that like 50 other burgers were in like the same fucking like batter of that shit.
Yeah, I mean, like if it's just like chicken, it's like, oh well, carries over. They're the same thing, but like they're two different foods.
Yeah.
The French fries there. I don't give a shit. The French fries are good, but the apple pies, I don't want to eat apple pies that taste like chicken.
apple pies that taste like pizza.
Anyway, this isn't a food cast. We're talking about Marvel
movies. All right. So Mars, what history do you have with just Marvel in general, if any?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Marvel. Marvel was basically ingrained into my life, not willingly.
How so?
My dad is like the biggest comic book fan of all time.
My dad's also pretty similar.
My dad would kill your dad.
My dad has a fucking he bought me a fucking like Galactus like collector's item.
My dad. I love that.
It was like arguing about that shit. Also, I have a premiere. Not premiere. I have a fucking like collector's thing. It was like a book of like all fucking Marvel like memorabilia, like signatures and shit like that. It's cool.
All right, your dad is epic. My dad is cool too. I don't know what kind of signatures he has. He probably has more. I know he has a bunch of comics. But I love that argument when you're a kid. Is that you're too young to have any sort of accomplishments in life of yourself, so you just go like, well, my dad did this.
My dad works at Nintendo.
Yeah, my dad used to like killed Hitler, and he killed Osama bin Laden too.
He did all three.
He did all three. He stopped 9/11. It's because like, you don't have. I love that. It's just like the coolest shit. Because like I remember kids going like, well, my dad has this. My dad has that. It goes like, you are meaningless. When you're 18, you will be nothing, and your dad will be something or dead, and people will remember him. You are just useless. But like, my dad, I remember this one thing, like, because we'll get into like the first movie, but I remember there's people that were saying like, oh man, they didn't know Iron Man to the first Iron Man movie. And I was like, to me, that was like, how the fuck did these people not know Iron Man? My dad just like jizzes on Iron Man like all the time.
I mean, Iron Man's more of like, he's obviously like an A-list. He's up there, but it's just like, he's not ingrained in people's minds like Spider-Man or Captain America or X-Men.
I was very surprised by that because like I basically knew, I didn't know like their backstories or anything. I just knew them. Like my dad was just like, oh, that Hulk, oh, that Cap America, oh, that. This is when I was like 5.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that one character, Black Panther. I knew about Black Panther, but
yeah.
I also didn't know. I also knew Iron Man because he was also in the Tony Hawk Underground. I think either 1 or 2.
Probably.
I think no, it was 1.
Yeah.
I know Shrek was in 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew all these characters. My dad was go to comic book stores, and I would have to go with him because I'm like 5 and don't have any. He doesn't want to pay for a babysitter. And it wasn't really like any sort of like a bad sort of like experience though.
Doesn't sound like it.
He was just like browse comics, and like I didn't read comics. He thought I was like some sort of like freak because I didn't read comics. Like it was okay. It wasn't like I didn't read comics. It's just that I didn't read the comics. I
was gonna say you just didn't read the words.
No, not that. No, it's like I could read. I could actually read pretty well. I was pretty proficient at reading. I could read fast. I didn't have good comprehension. But like I would read comics, but they weren't like Marvel comics. They were like Simpsons comics, and he's like, why the fuck are you reading Simpsons comics? I would get the weird thing about the Simpsons comics is that like I would read them, but like I wouldn't read the ones about like Radioactive Man.
Like you'd read like the ones about the actual characters.
Yes, I was just like, I don't give a shit about Radioactive Man.
I want to read about Apu.
I want to read about Apu and how non-offensive he is. You guys are all selfish. I don't know. Now we can piss people off.
Oh God, we're getting. I hope you guys are ready for this very enticing Marvel Cinematic Universe to talk about.
Let's talk about Apu and Simpsons comics. But I would read those, and he would just like look at me with like his like Infinity War, like some big Marvel crossover event comic, and he's just like, you're a disgrace. Also at that comic book store, it was also pretty cool because they had I think it was like Capcom versus X-Men or X-Men versus Capcom.
Yeah.
They had like that. They had the original arcade machine, and I would always go there to play.
Yeah.
I knew about Marvel comics before it was cool.
Yeah. I've also been a big fan of Marvel basically since birth. I dressed up as a bunch of Marvel characters for Halloween. I was the Hulk when that was a big thing. I had the real Hulk hands, like the big bulky ones, not the dumbass like small ass ones that are today.
I wanted those. Yeah, I wanted those so bad so I can like punch my sister without feeling any remorse.
I didn't have any I wasn't able to be around my sibling when I had those. Then again, I lived in New York at the time. You see, yeah, I lived in New York at the time. My dad used to always pick me up. He used to talk about comic books with me. He used to take me to my grandma's house, and he would show me his comic book collection. He has a bunch of them. I still have them in my room today.
Oh no.
And so yeah, a bunch of like preserved ones, like in like the plastic, so you could sell them later on, obviously. And so I basically have been knowledgeable for Marvel for some time now. I played games like Ultimate Alliance, and that's kind of what enticed me. Which stuff like that.
Can that be like a part of the podcast too?
Sure.
Talk about the games.
Why not? Just talk about it's a Marvel. It is a Marvel podcast.
Okay, so if we're gonna sidetrack into the games, like I played basically every Marvel game that during like I guess like through a stretch. Maybe not all of them, but through a stretch, I played most of them. I remember I really liked all the X-Men games. Those things were cool. And like all the Ultimate Alliance games, like the Marvel games back then, they weren't really like these big. They weren't really like great games, but they're just like really fun games just to play with your friends.
Yeah, I remember really liking Ultimate Alliance. I thought that was fun. Just like
I love Ultimate Alliance, but I hate that the fact that it was like $59 on like PS3 and like even on like modern consoles. Cause I think like those games like just sell a lot. Like people just play them like casually.
Yeah, fun. Still probably fun.
Yeah, they're still good.
Yeah, of course.
We should do that. That should be the first Negroid Let's Play.
Shut up. Cutting that out.
No, do not cut out the
Negroids.
All right, guys, you need to vote. Should we call our? We thought about making a Let's Play channel one day, like during the summer. We didn't come up with a name, so I just called it the Negroids. You get a chance to vote if we call it the Negroids.
Well, we would play like a game of some kind. Negroid. That's like an offensive term, isn't it?
It is an offensive term, but it's funny. It's the funniest like racial slur or like.
I don't think so.
It is. It's like Negroid.
I don't like that.
I do. It's funny.
Oh God! All right.
Like it would catch someone like if you call it like a person, you just call them like a Negroid. It's like you're. I
think they would be confused and also offended.
Yes, that's the thing. They would be thrown off. It would be like, "What did you call me?" Like, "Oh, a Negroid." You're like a really buff black guy, and it's like, oh, I don't know. Like, would they be offended? They're like, "Oh, he called me buff, but he also called me a slur." It's like this podcast is like half and half, and like whether or not it's like an insult or like a compliment.
I guess so. Okay. You say you're talking about Marvel games. I'm assuming you played a bunch of the Spider-Man ones, seeing as how he's your favorite one.
I played Spider-Man 2, 3, Spectacular Spider-Man. I played most of them. I played pretty much all of them up to like now because I don't like the new Spider-Man games. I want to play the new one though. That one's really good.
I played like the PS2 Spider-Man. I played the first one. I never got the actual Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation. I played
missing out.
I played it on PC and it was bad because that's the worst one apparently.
It is. It's an entirely new game.
It's a shame. But then I played Spider-Man 3 on the PS2 and that was basically fun. It was basically had the same swinging apparently, so it was fun.
It's just not as good. It doesn't have the same feel.
I guess. I don't know. I didn't mind it.
It doesn't have the cheese enough, like the same level of cheese.
Yeah, I can probably agree. But I think I liked it more because it was actual like comic shit. There was actual comic shit in it, like Morbius, the living vampire. It was like a character, and you got to fight the lizard.
Anyways,
let's get into the movies. Yeah. This is a whole thing that has been spanning on for the past, a decade now. I've seen literally every single one of these fucking movies.
He saw all of them in like preparation.
I marathoned them recently, and I mean marathoned them in the sense that I started like 2 months ago, and
I watched like a bunch of clips in Ragnarok like yesterday.
Yeah, I've seen every single one of the Marvel movies in theaters. Whew.
I've seen pretty much all of them in theaters.
Yeah.
Well, no, I haven't. No, that's a lie. I didn't see Iron Man 2 in theaters, and I didn't see Thor Ragnarok in theaters, which I wanted to.
You're not missing much with Iron Man 2. But yeah, so Iron Man basically started everything off. Robert Downey Jr., who was born to play the role of Tony Stark, starts off this whole universe. So what do you think of that, Mars?
Robert Downey Jr., good. He doesn't sleep in kids' beds anymore. It's pretty nice.
He
Iron Man.
slept in the room, not the bed.
I don't know how the fuck that shit would not fly now.
It would not fly now. It didn't fly then either. He got arrested for that.
He did, but like, what? How did that even occur? Like, I don't even know like the full story.
Okay, so for those who don't know, Robert Downey Jr. got drunk. I think it was before he hit it big with the Marvel movies. I could be wrong, but he got drunk and he just stumbled into like a random like suburban family's house one day because the door was open. He just went up into the little girl's room while they were having dinner or some shit, and they found him in there and they called the cops on him.
How the fuck did it even occur?
They left the door open.
How did? First off, they're retards for that.
Yeah.
It's not Robert Downey Jr.'s fault for wandering into your child's bedroom if you didn't leave the door open for him. What if he was an actual rapist? You know, he is just like a dummy. He's helping you out. I don't see why you guys have to like call the cops on him. You should just let him go. He didn't do anything. You guys are the ones that were wrong. But I don't know. I liked Robert Downey Jr. in the role. It seemed like his big comeback because like from what I haven't seen like a lot of movies with him. I've seen like a couple. I saw like a lot of movies with him. But I just know the story. I just mostly like everyone knows him like, oh, he's Iron Man.
I think that's a real thing that I liked about just the MCU in general. It's just like it's an exaggerated but still grounded reality, which I think makes it work.
It's still stupid, but like, you know, at least as the Iron Man, some of the earlier ones, it's like, oh, he does realistic shit. Oh, he's an asshole. He goes to Burger King.
Yeah, he wants a hamburger.
Rich people do evil things sometimes.
Yeah.
Try to get accentuate their fucking like profits. Yeah. I like Iron Man 1. I remember seeing it in theaters, and I remember this was like the movie that was like the make or break. It was the make or break fucking Marvel movie. That's kind of like a reality I want to live in, though. It's like
just a movie, just like a reality without superhero movies.
I kind of want to live in the reality of just like them fucking up and fucking this up, because like, how would that look? Like all these properties would be like spread out even more.
Yeah, it'd be spread out more. We would just have another Batman. It would just be another Batman and Robin, where they fucked that up so bad that Chris Nolan had to take over and just reboot it. That's what would happen. That is exactly what would happen.
Make like really dark Iron Man, where he's like even darker. Like they really do like the terrorist aspect of it is like kind of like, this isn't terrible.
You know, they handled that maturely.
Yeah, they could have like also just made them like really like
racist.
Really racist brown people after 9/11. I don't think anybody would really be mad about that. I mean, there would be Arabs would be mad, but like at that point, it's like, who the fuck are they? I'm not saying that from my perspective. I don't give a shit. I don't really have any problems with them. I also like Terrence Howard in this movie.
Yeah, you like Terrence Howard as Rhodey? You liked him?
I like how they just recast him with like an even better actor.
Yeah,
like,
I was just gonna say
it just kind of like he's like, give me more money, give me more money,
and then they cut him out of the director's cut of the film, and that was kind of like the first step where like, yeah, your ass is out of here. All right, well then there's the rest of the movie. Yeah, Iron Man was the one to really start off everything. It even started off with the stingers at the end, which is a staple for every Marvel movie now, and just every movie in general, honestly. Especially if you want to become a universe, you have to have a stinger at the end.
I think the thing that I liked about Iron Man is that it was the first good superhero. It wasn't the first good.
It was the first. It was the first good superhero movie that was a superhero other than Spider-Man or Batman.
Yeah, it was the first. Okay, yeah. When we say that, it's like you had to think about like, oh yeah, fucking Batman, Spider-Man. But like, Iron Man is like, I would say like the first like big mainstream one.
All the man. Like, as long if you're a man, you gotta make sure.
That wasn't like made for like these like edgy losers.
Yeah.
Like I hate all the X-Men movies. I
like that. I like the first X-Men movie.
I hate all of them because they just like, I hate how they look. I hate that they're like, oh, we gotta go for the Matrix black suits and look like totally uncharming.
Yeah, everyone hated that, and you're not alone in that. Everyone wanted like the goofy like Wolverine suits, but they call it out in the films. It's like, oh, what do you want? Yellow spandex?
If it wasn't for me like being curious and also horny because I wanted to look at Mystique, then these movies serve no purpose. They're fucking. They're really boring. They're really long. X-Men 3 is fucking awful.
X-Men 3 is awful, but then they bounce back after because after Wolverine was bombed. The first class is pretty okay.
That's the other thing I hate about them. They're all about old Wolverine. I don't give a shit about Wolverine.
People like Wolverine. I don't mind Wolverine. Also, he's just a good actor in general, so people just like seeing Hugh Jackman. You can't blame him for that.
I want to see Hugh Jackman and Logan. That's it.
Yeah, Logan's really good.
Iron Man 1's cool. Only thing I don't really like about Iron Man is how he flies, because he flies like a loser.
How do you want Iron Man to fly?
Through his feet and not through his like little gay hand fucking jets. Also, why do you put your heart out there for people to punch? Stop putting your heart.
No, the whole
out
thing,
there.
the point is the armor protects from that. There's like a shield around the thing that protects the heart.
Well, later on we learned that means jack shit.
No, we found out it does, because remember in Avengers, Loki tries to like mind control him by putting the thing on his heart and it protects him still.
Yeah, but when you get to fucking what is it? What's that one? What is the movie? I keep forgetting. The last Avengers movie.
Civil War?
You get to Civil War where Bucky starts like punching him in the heart, and it's like, ow, stop punching me, stop.
No, but the whole point is did you see Iron Man 3? Do you even remember like all that? Okay, you don't remember? Just like at the end of the movie, there was like a big thing where he had that like the whole point of that thing being there was that it protected the shrapnel that was gonna go towards his heart, basically. Like,
Oh.
Yeah, and so he had that taken out. He basically at the end of Iron Man 3, he had all the shrapnel taken out, so he didn't need like the fucking surge protector anymore.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Of course, I know you want to talk about the Thor movies and Hulk. Fuck. Those are your favorite movies.
Okay. I saw like the first Incredible Hulk like a long time ago.
Like the 2003 one or the 2008 one?
I remember one time it was like really fucked up. There used to be like a friend I used to stay at his house, and he was like having a sleepover, and like his mom was like, "You gotta sleep on the couch because you gotta sleep with your friend." I just waited till he fell asleep, and I slept in his bed and watched fucking Ang Lee's Hulk in his own room while he's sleeping on the bed. So I'm watching Ang Lee's Hulk, and it's just like, this is really bad.
It's really bad. Hulk poodle.
I remember the scene like historically, like where they're like, I think they're trying to spray Hulk with like some sort of thing so he stops, but the CG just looks super shitty.
I know you. Yeah, we talk about there's Thor. You love him. Everyone loves Loki. So much that he's kind of the only reoccurring villain.
I never really got the fucking like why people got the hots for Loki.
I never understood the hots for Loki. I can understand liking him as a villain, but I don't understand getting the hot. I don't think Tom Hiddleston's not the least attractive man, but.
Hey, when he was in that all black suit in Ragnarok, it's like, whoo,
whoo, whoo, whoo.
About to turn on that gay. But I hate the Thor movies. The Thor movies are just like the most boring fucking movies. Like Thor, I like the actor. Like I think they pick good actors.
That's the whole thing with the Marvel universe. Yeah, they have good actors to play the characters.
But like the writing for them is just like so boring.
But yeah,
and, like,
because they focus way too much on the human aspect. Like the first Thor movie, he's spending like all his time at a diner for like half the movie, and then the second one they focus on like the dumb like Jean stuff or whatever her name was, Natalie Portman.
Holy shit.
And then in the third movie, she doesn't even exist anymore.
But she was awful. But like Natalie Portman, this is boring. Like, why would I want to watch a movie about Thor? That's why Thor Ragnarok, I was like, I'm gonna hate this. This is gonna be like some bullshit. And it wasn't. It was like someone's like, I want to be Guardians of the Galaxy. That's what Thor should have been. It should have just been like goofy bullshit.
It should have been goofy, just like demigod shit like that, like a Hercules sort of thing. And then in Ragnarok, they decided to bring it out to space, and it was fun.
Yeah, and they had Hulk, who sounded really weird.
I liked Hulk. Hulk was my favorite part of that movie.
He was good. I didn't like him. I just like his voice was like really weird. Like they put like some sort of like filters or something.
Also, it's just the fact that you're hearing Hulk talk in general, because he just didn't before. He said the only like 2 words he said was puny god and Avengers.
Yeah. He's like actually someone. He's not formulating complete sentences, but he's formulating sentences.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe after being stuck in Hulk mode for 2 years to start to learn to talk, but
yeah.
But like, oh god.
You had Captain America. We had Chris Evans, who loves his comic movies. He was the Human Torch. He was in Scott Pilgrim. He was in Wanted. That's a comic book thing. So he loves doing comic book movies.
They basically made his life.
Exactly.
Like, who was he? He was like this skinny little twig when he played in the shitty.
He's just like he's just like a Captain America. He's like a skinny 14-year-old. You put him in the suit and he's just like a beefcake now.
You don't put him in like a suit. You inject him with drugs and he becomes like a beefcake.
Well, I mean, it's super drugs, so it's not like they have like, and they don't really have a negative effect on him, so they're not like bad drugs.
But it's still cheating.
Essentially, but it's like the whole point. It's a serum.
No,
so like,
essentially, it's cheating.
But it's to beat the Nazis, so no one cares.
No.
He's basically the only one up until Civil War.
It's just like football, Glenn. You can't just like juice up and then go onto the field and think that you're like on an even playing field.
Well, I mean, when there's only one of you,
He's breaking the rules. I call for suspension.
Also, yeah, he's the only one because the guy got shot. The guy who created it. So he decided he was an idiot and decided not to write it down.
He didn't write it down.
He didn't put the serum anywhere or give an example of where it.
That would never happen. Like,
I know
that's some sort of like invention. They would have to like document.
And it really didn't happen because there's other super soldiers, obviously like the Winter Soldier and like even the ones in Civil War now.
Yeah.
And then yeah. As I mentioned before, all the phases, they kind of culminate into the big, journeys. You had Iron Man, Thor, and Hulk, and Captain America. They all culminated into the Avengers. Now,
everyone basically got their own movie, except for like the two losers no one cares about.
Hawkeye and Black Widow. I mean, Black Widow was introduced in Iron Man 2, which is the worst Marvel movie, basically, aside from the Thor movies.
I feel like if they just made like a Black Widow movie, it would just be like it could either go two ways.
I feel like it's a bit too late to make a Black Widow movie. You probably should have done that.
It's a bit too late because they should have done that, but they could have just made it like Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you should have done that. Have Hawkeye in there. They could have had their own moments. But you essentially had a Black Widow. She played a pretty big role in Iron Man 2 and Winter Soldier, and she did really good in those. So essentially, she has her own movies.
She's all right in those. It's just that it just feels really bad because she has good speaking roles. So whenever it comes to fighting, she can't do shit. She can't do fucking shit. Because Civil War is just what the fuck do you want me to do? I can't beat Hulk.
I gotta fight Ant-Man. I gotta fight Spider-Man.
It's just Black Panther walks by her. He's trying to get the Captain America, and she's like, I'll shock you. And it's oh, messing me up. I'm not gonna punch you because that'd be wrong. I don't hit women, but also I could destroy you if I want to. It's she can't do anything. So she can just talk good.
She's a spy. But then she's yeah.
Also just
you could say the same thing for Hawkeye. He's just a guy with an arrow. He mentions but they bring a point to mention that. It's just in Ultron, the second one, which is funny. We're on a floating island, we're fighting aliens, and I am equipped with a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense, but I'm doing it.
They roast the shit out of him all the time, and it just goes oh, what do we do for Hawkeye? It's well, we can't do shit on the actual battlefield.
Yeah, so just let him stay at home with his wife and kids.
Let him stay with his wife and kids who no one knows the names of them.
Maybe
it's goddamn Hawkeye, you suck. You really do, but her is just kind of goes you can't really make a movie about her now.
Yeah, it's kind of because you would want to do that in relation to the Shield stuff, and that stuff's basically gone now.
No, you can't do that now because what are we go from oh, what was the last movie? It was fucking Doctor Strange or these big mythical beings.
The last movie was Black Panther. So if you did, so it's essentially what Infinity War is doing. Okay, so we're gonna have Infinity War. It's gonna be the big grand battle of all these things culminating and fighting the big villain, and then the next movie is gonna be Ant-Man 2.
Yeah, it's just the stakes would just be really low. It would just be oh, what are you doing? I'm trying. Who could she fight? She fights some no powered loser. Oh. That's really disappointing when the couple of the last movies were just oh, Thor literally fights Hulk or something.
If she wasn't played by Scarlett Johansson, I'd recommend a Netflix show about that. I think I feel that'd be good.
That would be good because it's a lot smaller.
Yeah,
smaller scale. But a full length movie is
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, the Avengers, I mean, it was the hypest thing back then. I mean, like, 2012, not too long ago. Yeah, 6 years ago, it made $1 billion.
I don't know. Avengers. What do you think about Avengers now?
It's a flawed movie, but I think it still holds the test of time. It's definitely really good, and just the fact that they were able to do this, spend like several years into doing this team movie, which I think, DC should have kind of taken the hint on, but they decided not to several years later. And then they decided to try it for themselves and steal the idea, and it has not worked for them in any way.
But it isn't really, like, looking back, especially looking back with, like, the improvements now.
Oh, yeah.
It's gotten, like,
Oh, yeah.
my like for it has gotten, like, way worse. Like, my dad will just, like, say, like, the first Avengers is, like, the greatest movie, because I guess it was, like, a big moment for him.
It was a really big moment.
Yeah, I kind of, like, really think about it. It goes, like, was this really a big moment? Like, I don't see what the big fucking deal is. And, like, now, it's like, oh.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's like, oh, I guess it's been, like literally, like, 50 years.
Yeah.
It's like, oh. And it really does, like, really surprise me as, like, it taking this long for some of these movies. Like, Avengers and, like, Marvel shit was, like, always kind of, like, underground or a little bit, like, DC was always, like, bigger.
Slightly, I guess. Maybe mostly like Batman. Like I guess
Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
Yeah, like the Justice League. Yeah, but I think those are like just the main four, though.
I mean, the Flash. People knew about the Flash. Avengers. It's fine. It's the best Avengers movie, I guess. I mean, like, Civil War is.
I think Civil War's second for me. It's definitely. I think yeah.
Ultron is fucking gay.
Ultron's not the best one. There's key moments. Watching all these films again. Ultron's definitely on the lower side, and yeah, kind of. I think the mediocrity of a lot of the Marvel films are kind of noticeable at times.
Yeah, it's just like really disappointing because I wanted to like Ultron. I thought it was the guy that was voicing. I was like, oh wow, Ultron.
And then it turns out
it
turns out the better characters are like Scarlet Witch and Vision than Ultron. Just these characters that weren't even like marketed too well.
Yeah, sucks. This sucks. Avengers.
Yeah, but then after that we had things like Guardians.
Guardians is like unfortunately like the best movie, but like unfortunately like the most like influential movie, and that kind of pisses me off. Its influence is kind of like getting obnoxious at this point, if it hasn't already. Cause like look at it, like I made a tweet about this like ages ago, but like whenever you want like Guardians, because Guardians was successful and people love the 80s.
People love the 80s.
People love the 80s. They love the 80s. They love the 80s music. They love the 80s aesthetic. The 80s is like candy to people. But like I love what Guardians did, but I hate what like a lot of people are trying to profit off that like Guardians feel by like, okay, so how do we make a trailer that's like quirky or cool? We gotta put like an 80s song. We gotta make all our characters kind of like
a ragtag team
that's like somewhat self-aware. Basically Suicide Squad is what I'm getting at.
That's basically that was incredibly influenced by Guardians.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, that could be fun. Well, Suicide Squad's just bad, but like,
Suicide Squad's terrible.
When you see it when you see like I saw Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is supposed to be like a reboot, of like the first one. But like they do everything like Guardians. They have like a character that's like, hey, I'm goofy and I have 80s music.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, god damn, this is Guardians. You've done this. You ruined media. I hate like Guardians. Like I love Guardians. I love Guardians 2. I would even argue that I probably like Guardians 2 more. But like I don't know. I don't like its effect on like shit. But it's a really good movie. Like Chris Pine?
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. Who's Chris Pine? Who the fuck?
Chris Pine
Was he the Star Trek guy?
He's the Star Trek guy.
Yeah, the Star Trek guy. I fucked that up. Chris Pratt. Really big role for him, if not the most important role of his career, because no one knew jack shit about him. He was the guy from The Office, and he was like fat.
He was not the guy from The Office. He was the guy from Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec. Oh, those are the same show.
It's not the same show. I mean,
They're essentially the same show.
They're pretty. Hey, Parks and Rec had Michelle Obama on it. I guess that brings up a fact is like people. A lot of criticisms people tend to have about Marvel movies is just they have usually terrible villains.
They do. They all have them terrible villains except for one, and he wasn't like a really
He's
great
the only.
villain, but he's the only good one.
He's the only good one because they reuse him. That's my kind of problem with it. Is when you don't reuse a villain and just kill him off in the first movie they're introduced in. How are you gonna like? How are you supposed to do that? How fun is that when like Batman kills the Joker?
Imagine making like a Fantastic Four movie and killing Doctor Doom.
They did that, and then he came back in the second one.
Break your own rules. They don't make Doctor Doom look like Doctor Doom, do they?
In the first one, I don't know. It's the dumb 2004 one. I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't ever reuse villains. That's the cool thing about comics is that villains are just like assholes. Like, I'll come back. I'll get you.
Yeah.
But they don't do that. They forget that. It's like you guys basically created that. How do you not have that concept?
Yeah.
Villains are assholes. They'll come back, and people will come back to see what their schemes are.
Yeah,
I guess it just doesn't work for movies.
I guess. But
It works more for TV shows. Because, like, imagine, like, you see a movie, and it goes like, oh, we beat the Green Goblin, and the next movie is like, oh, we gotta beat the Green Goblin again.
I know, but I think if they if they kept a couple of the villains, like the decent ones, like obviously you don't want to kill Loki because people like him. Because he's Tom Hiddleston, he's British funny. I mean, when you
British fun, British
exactly.
handsome.
But I feel like we mentioned in the Black Panther podcast when you killed Killmonger, like he was an interesting character. Everyone loved him, literally, and then you just kill him off, and he's not gonna come back for the next one.
I feel like at that point, like I don't know, you could killed him, but like you shouldn't. I don't know if he should die, but like I think he saw the light at the end, so it's like what use of him as a character is there?
I don't know. Maybe just him like kind of struggling to like use it for good. Maybe just like he was a good character.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know the answer because like we could say that, but like fuck, how do you make a movie about like the same villain again?
You don't want him. You don't have to make it about the same villain. Just maybe like have him reappear or make him like have a team or something of other villains so you can raise the stakes. Maybe.
I guess the only example like that comes to the top of my head is like Star Wars. They like to fight,
or just like where they don't really focus on killing them, but they just want to focus on weakening them so they can eventually stop them.
Yeah, make them fight their lackeys. Yeah. Just like their villains are just bad. DC does have better. They have better villains, but like it really.
A lot of the villains tend to be Batman villains.
I feel like the Joker one just like tapes like 10 good villains.
All right. Well, Mars, what would you say your favorite Marvel movie is?
My favorite Marvel movie?
Yeah, Marvel MCU movie.
I think I like Guardians 2.
Okay, that's fine. I didn't mind Guardians 2. People also like the soundtrack a lot.
Yeah, I like the soundtrack more, and I like the villain. That's all that really needs to be there. I like Thor Ragnarok. I like that a lot, though it kind of. I didn't really like the villain.
I don't mind her. She was okay. I liked her. I like Kate Blanchett. So
she kind of like fucked off for like a good portion of the movie.
A good portion of it because they wanted to focus on them and Jeff Goldblum. That was fun.
Jeff Goldblum's cool.
He's the best. He's the best part of that movie.
Oh wait, no. It'd be, Iron Man 1 is second.
Iron Man 1's my personal favorite.
And then if this counts as a Marvel movie, it would be Spider-Man 2.
Of course. Oh yeah, we already did a Homecoming review, so just
Homecoming because I like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And the MCU. What is yours, Glenn?
I mentioned Iron Man's probably my first favorite, and then after that I'd say Captain America: Winter Soldier. It's fun, and then after that is the first Guardians. You want to talk about the Netflix stuff? Do you even watch any of the Netflix TV shows at all?
I have watched Luke Cage and a bit of Daredevil.
Again, I've seen I think like all of the Marvel little shows. I've seen some of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I haven't watched all of it. I've seen it. It's okay. It's boring kind of. I can see why a lot of people don't care for it, but it's okay. It's harmless. I've seen Deadpool, Jessica Jones. I even watched Iron Fist, which that's not very good.
Do the cartoons count?
Cartoons are alright. You can talk about them, I guess. I was focusing more on the
Oh,
the actual MCU stuff, because that's actually connected to that. I think I tend to also like the Netflix things like that a bit more, just slightly more than the actual superhero stuff, because it's just like, yeah, I'm kind of like a normal guy who's like a lawyer, but I have to beat up people because they're just annoying.
Yeah, probably because of the smaller budgets too.
It's a smaller budget, yeah.
We gotta pick characters that's like, they're cool, but like they don't really have these like big stupid powers we have to animate all the time. But,
Yeah,
like,
no.
also set in,
Luke
like,
Cage is Luke Cage is bulletproof, and yeah, we're all gonna focus this on New York because New York's cool.
They're also set in like urban areas because, like, you know, shooting in the city.
Yeah, it's cool.
But like I've only seen Luke Cage, but I see like a bunch of them. Like there's a bunch since like 2017. Like there's this one show I was like, I don't even fucking know. It stars Clem. It's like the Runaways.
You mean the Runaways? Yeah, I haven't seen a second of that show. I don't really think that matters. I don't really care about that. It's like a Hulu exclusive. I don't want to watch that.
I have Hulu. You're literally in this show, Glenn.
I'm sure I'm in the Runaways. Yes.
It's
I'm
like
assuming
me and you fused, and we had like a different hairstyle.
Yeah, essentially. But you know, I've seen all of them. I've even saw the Inhumans, which is another thing that they wanted to be.
That came out?
That came out. It wasn't a movie, but it was like a weird TV show. Wasn't very good either.
It looks like
it's bad. It's not very. If you're gonna watch any of the Marvel stuff, get a Netflix subscription. Watch all Daredevils. Don't watch Iron Fist. Watch Luke Cage, and then watch Defenders. If you also Jessica Jones.
I'm looking at this like the side-by-side characters of like what they're supposed to look like. If you want like a comprehensive review from me, look up Inhumans, go to the first image, and look at the girl in like purple.
Yeah, the Medusa. She's the one with the red hair. She's her power is she can control her hair.
Power's being fucking ugly and stupid looking.
Yeah, it's
What the heck? She's super hot in like the fucking comic one.
You can say that about any character though.
You can say that about a lot of them.
Yeah, exactly.
You can say that about a lot of them, but like, holy shit. This is like getting a grandma to cosplay as this.
But yeah, the Netflix shows. I think my favorite one personally is Daredevil, and then no, it's a tie between Daredevil and Luke Cage, really. Just like the first 2 seasons of Daredevil, and then Luke Cage. Luke Cage is a lot of fun.
Luke Cage is funny because like they just start fighting in the street. That's cool.
Oh yeah. I think one of the funniest things is in Luke Cage, the main villain he has is a guy named Diamondback, and like the final episode in the finale, he basically fights this guy in a barber shop. He's wearing like a dumbass like green suit with like a weird like yellow turtleneck. It's like a dumb like bulletproof suit. It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, and it's dumb and it's funny though.
I like that show because I feel like Luke Cage has like the greatest introduction to like a superhero thing. They set up like the environment really well. Like it's like
it's Harlem, yeah.
This place is pretty rough. Like there's like the first episode, some guy gets his fucking face bashed in by just straight fist, and they find him down the road.
Yeah, and they also the one guy throws the other guy off a roof. It's cool. It's like one. Yeah, just the Daredevil. Yeah, just Daredevil and the just all the Netflix shows. They're shot really well. They're all done.
Luke
like
Cage
even
really
the
well,
yeah, and there's one action scene where just like they'll occasionally have these things where they'll have like singers in the club singing while action scenes are taking place, and it's really good.
Yeah. One thing I really like Luke Cage a lot. I like the actor. He's pretty cool, but
yeah.
What was I gonna get it? Oh yeah, I'm looking at Diamondback. He looks like shit.
It looks like
he looks like he just got like a suit from like Red Tails and is like, all right, go on to set and fight.
I like the turtleneck he's wearing. It's fun. Just like the yellow with the rims. I don't like that. I think one of my favorite things too is for some reason the Netflix shows have an infatuation with Wu-Tang. Like for some reason Method Man is in Luke Cage and he has like a little like rap number about him on the radio station.
Yeah.
That's fun. And also, like, and I remember in the show The Punisher, the Netflix show that came out. I remember he's talking to some kid who's like he was taken care of for like a second. He's like, you know, I'm not much into rap music, but Wu-Tang, that's the next level shit.
I really like that. I like the one thing where it just got, you can kind of feel like the environment and like Luke Cage is getting better. Like when like he first gets there, it's like a complete shithole. Like it's just like completely
it's Harlem,
garbage.
yeah. It's Harlem.
Yeah, but like when you actually do see like Luke Cage's like effect, like even if they don't even like point it out, it was like, oh, I don't see like as much crime or shit going on. And the place looks like it's like they actually like, I think they like,
yeah, he looks like he's he's like affecting things. So he's like, yeah, you can see the actual effects of that. It's cool.
Yeah. The only thing that I don't like is they killed off the main villain really quick, and
yeah, and they replaced him with his sister, which is worse.
Worse, and they had Shades, and it was like, Shades, what the fuck are you doing?
Shades,
You're not Cyclops.
You're not Cyclops.
I was really angry. It's like, when is he gonna? Oh, I bet when he removes those shades, shit's gonna go down, and then like nothing happens.
He takes them off. He's like, no, I just wear these.
It'd been funny if like they tried to like did that angle, like, I'm gonna take off my glasses. He takes them off and just wipes them off, and they're like, oh, they were really dirty.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I don't know. It's pretty good. I wish they kept Cottonmouth a little bit more.
Yeah, Cottonmouth was a really good villain. I guess we want to talk about what we think Infinity War is gonna do while that's still coming out. We'll probably see if we can get this.
They're gonna kill Vision, and that's it. They're gonna kill this character no one really cared about.
I like Vision a lot, so
I think he's cool, but like, no, I don't know. He's not that cool.
He's not the best, but I think I've always liked Vision. Vision's just a cool robot, and I've always loved that.
My perfect version of it is like Thanos just like sets the precedent real early. Like he picks up like Ant-Man and fucking rips him apart.
But that doesn't happen, obviously.
No, like they can't do that now because
they can't do that now because Ant-Man 2's next.
That'd be no. They could do this. They can just have like, oh, it's a flashback.
No, yeah, it'll be a fucked up timeline where Ant-Man 2 takes place before Thanos shows up.
I would want Thanos to kill someone very brutally. Like you would just like rip them like in half.
Thanos uses the time Infinity Stone. He brings back Quicksilver and he kills him again.
Hey guys, I'm back. Oh no!
That'd be fun.
Oh, he fucking picks up the black guy from Iron Man and cripples him like twice.
Again? Oh
yeah.
No!
I just got my legs back.
I have these braces on now. All right. Okay, so we're basically done. The MCU. It's a flawed universe, but really it's just fun. So, honestly, I think that's like kind of the thing about it. Just like, yeah, there's more hits than misses. There are movies for everyone, so that's fun. Yeah. All right, so I guess it's time to get into questions. We got some questions here about superhero stuff and Marvel stuff, so let's talk about that. All right, so you can ask us questions and go join the Half and Half Discord and questions and suggestions from SETI.
Other than the abuse of animators, what else in the cartoon and animation industry is really fucked up? It's not really. I guess it still falls in the line of abuse, but like you can be blacklisted for like simple shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you could be black. Like here's the thing. Like I've talked to like a couple people. You know, some people want to work in it, some people don't. I think like Bernie told me this. Like you can get blacklisted for like for certain things that you like. You know, political opinions. Because like the reason why, because I was talking to like, oh man, fucking. I don't know, maybe like my reviews on like cartoons would get me in trouble with, like movie things. It's like no, because like people with movies, they're way bigger. They're way bigger industry. No one would really give a shit. But like cartoons,
it's much smaller and more compact. You probably know more people.
Yeah, and it's much smaller. People talk all the time in any industry. And if it's smaller, more people talk to like everyone. So like if you have like a certain opinion, say like you make reviews, like this isn't like coming from like us. This is coming from like people. Like if you look up like the Too Loud guy, like there's like a tweet of him saying like, "Wow, so weird." This is like in response to like the Steven Universe video that came out. I think it was like
the Robo Buddies.
Yeah, it was that one.
Check her out. She's cool.
That's my speculation, but it came out like a week later. But like the tweet, but it was like fucking. Like it was like, wow, reviews. I see a lot of hateful reviews or something out, hateful reviews and people that want to work in the industry, and it's just like, so you can get blacklisted really easily, or you can get into some shit like real easily just for expressing opinions. Expressing
opinions or saying something about like another person in the industry. Just like talking about them, talking bad about them.
Anything that doesn't really sound positive or puts up the thing, it'll probably like get you in trouble in in the animation industry. You can people just don't get paid that much. They don't get paid a lot, and they get paid like some get paid good wages, some get paid like not a lot, and some just get paid just off like freelance or just like, hey, we'll commission you to do this. Some people get paid like that. A lot in Japan. If you watch the show Shirobako, they'll explain that more. But other things that gets fucked up. The network people heads, they don't fucking talk. Well, you can bring up a complaint and they don't do shit. Like, they literally had like harassers and like rapists in like their fucking like industry that's like going around. Like John K. now.
Oh.
So other fucked up things that happen within it. I guess it's just like people just not knowing if their shows will be made. Or like people, they'll prioritize other things, other shows, and just like, you know, your show that you worked on, just fuck off. That's pretty much it. I don't really know any other like abuse things. I don't work in that industry and I don't want to. Why would I want to get paid? Why would I want to get abused and work on shit that like I don't? People will just like, I don't know. Seems like a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Respect to the people that do work in it, but like, you know.
Yeah, it's gonna.
I'm about getting money.
Of course.
I don't see no animator running around in his fucking Rolls Royce
fat stacks.
with those fat stacks. Like, I draw cartoons for a living.
What do you do?
Yeah, the only person I saw that, it was like an MTV's like Cribs like type moment in like cartoons. It was like Seth MacFarlane back in like 1998. He goes like, Seth MacFarlane, like a Fox News report was like, Seth MacFarlane got $2.1 million for his cartoon, Family Guy.
You always see those people like kind of like occasionally they like brag about like things they've animated. They usually show it on Twitter. I want to see people do that. Like, oh, dude, I was the animator for that one sex scene on Family Guy.
Oh, like those fucking artists was like, yeah, I was commissioned to do this. Just some real Sakuga. It's like Peter and Lois fucking.
Yeah.
That's awesome, but like the Seth MacFarlane one was like really funny because it was like, oh, back there, that's my Mercedes Benz. Like they just like have a picture of like he spent like $700,000 on like a Mercedes Benz and shit. It's weird, but I don't know. They just don't get paid a lot. I don't really know any other horror stories.
Okay. All right. Okay. From Daddy O, what do you think makes a good superhero?
What makes them good? I would say like a good, interesting. I guess you can have a really good, interesting backstory. Visually, I think visually a character has to be like interesting.
Yes, catch your eye.
Yes, because like when you look at Spider-Man is cool because like his not only because he's like he has two colors that are like really good and they go well together, like red and blue, and like, you know, the black lining on his like webbing on his suit and like the logo's cool. It's also just like his eyes. Like his eyes are just like really stand out, and it's just like makes his design like so fucking.
Yeah, in the comics they kind of like move in and move out, which is dumb as shit. Which is why they never did it in the Raimi movies. And Civil War they did it because it kind of makes more sense because it's a bionic suit or whatever it is, cybernetics. So that's more acceptable.
If we're talking about comics, comics is like, you know, it's literature basically. It's literature. It's a book, but it also has pictures in it. So if it's like very visual, then I would say like the visuals have to take like it have to strike you in an interesting way because they use the visuals. They're not like they're not like real books. Like they're not books where like, oh, we have to use words to like persuade people. You have to use visuals. So like, you know, just have really cool, interesting designs and make the story and like reasoning for the character doing or having a motivation like pretty strong.
Yeah.
Or just make him goofy or like really just like fun just to do.
I think that's one of the reasons I love the Punisher. He can be a cool character sometimes and have those little moments, but a lot of the times he's just dumb and he just kills people in like really fun ways, and I love that. He's so serious all the time.
I think one of my coolest like cooler design just characters is like the new Jackal. Have you seen him?
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah.
The new Jackal looks really cool. He's like wearing like a suit, but he wears like the little jackal mask.
I like that. Actually, yeah, I like this.
He's cool. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Apparently, like fucks up like Spider-Man, like where Spider-Man can't die for a while, and he just watches his family die.
That's bad.
Like Venom's a cool design, even though in the new one he looks like shit.
I guess I guess it's appropriate. It's around the same time. What do you think of the Venom movie that came out? The trailer.
I thought it's cut like every other trailer. It's boring. Venom looks stupid.
Venom. I don't know. It's.
I don't know. It feels like he has like a bunch of teeth or like something
Just-
he's not gonna use.
Yeah. Oh, it's rated R, so
Oh, so he can bite people's heads off.
probably yeah.
He probably won't do that still. It's probably like rated R, but it's just like R for cursing.
Be funny.
It's like Venom doesn't kill anybody.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't know. It didn't look. It looks generic still. Yeah, Venom looked. At the end.
I hate how trailers are cut now. It's not that the fact that like they give spoilers. I don't really give a shit. It's just that they're all the same thing. They're
Yeah.
like, they have like the little cut. There's like always. It's like Inception, just like fucked over everyone. Because like it's just the blah, like blah, and then like someone's like running down a hallway.
Yeah, I think in Blade Runner 2049 they did that, but in the film, which they had that like that was in the soundtrack. Just I didn't get that was like the one part I didn't care for.
You know what was like a real breath of what was that one movie with like the guy from like Atlanta? Sorry to bother you. That movie is like that trailer is just like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
It doesn't do
I like
really
that
any
trailer.
of the, it doesn't
Yeah, I
really
like
do
that guy.
any of the fucking like blah shit because that's the
Yeah, because it's a comedy, so
it's a comedy. But like even then, after you if you haven't watched trailers in a while and you watch that one, it's like holy shit, these things are gonna be cool.
it looks pretty funny. It looks like it's a nice little fantasy thing. He's just like a little white guy voice. It's funny.
All right, so we talked about Marvel. We conquered. We talked about how bad all their movies are.
Every single movie of theirs is terrible.
Every single
don't watch any of them. Infinity War is gonna be trash, just like all of them. That's why they made Infinity War.
Just like all of them.
The reason they made Infinity War is because they hate you and they know their movies are bad.
Yeah, and they know that you're stupid, and they all
course.
think that you're just like cattle and you're sheep, and you should die.
That actually is true. All right, so yeah, this is the Half and Half podcast. We just talked about Marvel movies. It was fun. Well, it lasted for 2 hours. That's Jesus. It's gonna be hell to edit. Oh boy, I have to deal with that. All right, so that's the Half and Half podcast. My name's Glenn Walker, and my co-host MarsReviews. MarsReviews. Wow.
I've been MarsReview. You can check me out on
The
Twitter.
Patreon.
Listen to the podcast on SoundCloud. Go to Glenn's channel. Call him like Mars is cool, and then you dab on him.
Yeah, there'll be a new short film soon from me. That'll be cool. All right, so yeah, hopefully Infinity War is good. We'll find out. We'll do an episode on that. See you next time on Half and Half.